Hi everyone, and welcome to Noona's Noonchi Reacts, where I watch K-drama scenes and react to them from a mental health perspective as a licensed marriage and family therapist. So this scene is episode 3 and 4. The VIP patient, I forget his name, I'm sure he has a name, but he actually escapes from the mental institution that the main guy, Kang Tae, works at. And they're all trying to find him, but he goes to the rally where his famous father, assemblyman running for office, is there to speak out. And you already know he's going to do this big scene, and we already know that something dramatic is going to happen, but this is the scene leading up to that, and we're going to see what this VIP patient says. All right, we'll start here. Okay, I have to say something. That, to me, just watching this, what's going to happen, you already know, you already anticipate that guy's dad, which we already know by now is his dad. What's going to happen? I'm saying just feeling a little more empathy for this guy. This is the VIP patient, right? Okay, so that's a big deal, this guy, and so obviously we already know that he has a mental illness. But this guy, if you've already met him, showed some intellect early on, even in this drama. So I already really like this guy. And to say from everybody, I have a mental illness, and that's so sad that he already knows that he's bringing some sort of shame to the family. Just have to say, don't you already empathize with this guy? Sorry, I know I'm pausing a lot, but he had to point out that his siblings all went to Seoul National University, law school, that he's the stupid one. I believe he already felt just the shame and disappointment he brings to his family. So just being able to publicly share this, I want to say it's probably very good that he did this for himself. But you already know his dad fainted. And why do they have to do that? Like, really? Isn't that sad? I'm talking about this from a clinical point of view and also feeling empathy for the guy, because obviously I work with mental illness and mental health, and then being a parent, I hope, parents, that you never faint seeing your son come out like this. Yes, maybe he has his struggles and issues, but that's just a sad reaction, right? Just being honest.
근데 그게 내 잘못은 아닌데 그냥 좀 모자르게 태어난 건데 공부 못한다고 때리고 이해 못한다고 무시하고 말썽 핀다고 가두고 나도 같은 자식인데 하도 투명 인간 취급하길래 그냥
I just want to see his motion. Okay, so he said some very, very powerful words. I'm invisible. And obviously that's a translation, but I believe that's accurate. Like, I wasn't seen because I wasn't good enough is what he's saying. Oh my goodness. So that's a really great scene. And to me, he pretty much sounds like he knows what he's talking about. So we don't know really whether legitimately, and I think he's alluding to the fact that he was sent away and maybe some of his distress. So sometimes when you're psychologically in distress, it could look like a mental illness. Perhaps that's not the case here, right? Perhaps he had his own struggles in the family, was neglected. Oh, I'm going to say one thing too. Neglect is a form of abuse. And I'm saying this because perhaps him feeling neglected, and when you're exposed to that trauma, perhaps that's what led him to that point where he is in a mental institution, right? That's we know him as the VIP patient.
나좀 봐달라고.
You just said it.
제발 나도 좀 봐달라고. 그 미쳐날뛰다가요. 그러다 진짜 미쳐버렸습니다.
Okay, he just said it. What I was alluding to. He went crazy, did some crazy things, because that's what kids do when they want their parents' attention. So some things that present themselves to be, oh my gosh, something's wrong with my child. He's depressed, he's anxious, she's crazy. Maybe not. What are you doing, parents? I'm just pointing that out. And it's unfortunate when we see the dad's reaction. But this is a great scene. Oh my gosh. I love the scene. Just it puts in so many of the issues of our culture right in the scene and what he just says. Mentally ill patient says some of the most, I think, brilliant stuff in this drama so far. By the way, she has the best reaction. She's satisfied watching him say this, right? And so is the main guy. You know, Kangtae is actually looking at him saying like, wow, I actually feel for him. And we'll talk more about Kangtae's character, but I love this. I love that he says, look at me. So he gets a chance to do that. Let's just finish up the scene and see what happens, see what we see from the parents' reaction. Did we just see him envisioning himself as this patient? Did I just see that? I'm not sure. I thought I just saw that. But I think he sees himself in this guy. And I'm sorry, I must have missed it before, but I'm just shocked that I just saw that. That's super, super cool. Meaning he relates to what he's saying, right?
오늘 오전 성진시청 앞에서 진행된 총선 유세 현장에 20대 청년이 나체로 난입해 큰 소동이 벌어졌습니다. 그런데 이 청년은 다름 아닌 국민당 권만수 의원의 차남 권모 씨인 것으로 밝혀져 일주일 앞으로 다가온 총선에 적잖은 파장이 예상됩니다.
말썽 핀다고 가두고 잔여학대 인권유린 권만수는 사퇴.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I was obviously onto something when I said it's a form of abuse, and I didn't think that, you know, the guy's dad, the patient's dad, his whole platform was promoting, obviously, child abuse and human rights or whatever that they just said. Wow. So let's see what happens, because does he resign? And that was not the kid's intention. The kid's intention was literally the patient's attention. See, he's still a kid. So I want to point that out. If I'm talking to you and you're an adult kid, you're still an adult kid. You're still accepted by your parents. And here's where I believe the patient just said his piece. Really.
형, 나 오늘 다 잃었다. 태어난 거 오늘 제일 신났어. 그러니까 그 누나한테 절대 뭐라고 하지 마요. 어?
This is all I know. He did want to share it publicly to get that out. It wasn't to humiliate his dad, really. Yeah, of course the dad all fainted, you know. So dramatic of Koreans.
정신병원 그딴 데 우리가 왜 가요? 아빠 모시고 먼저들 가 있어. 엄마. 수씨.
엄마, 나 이제 좀 괜찮아.
공개적으로 집안 망신시키니까 이제 속 시원하니? 미워 죽겠는 아버지 얼굴에 기어이 똥칠하니까.
Okay, folks, I think this is really sad. And this was a 2020 drama. So this still exists. Obviously, if they're portraying this, yes, shame, family shame, bringing disappointment to your family is still such a big part of our culture, but it puts so much pressure on us. And I want to say this kid, to me, shows intelligence early on. I was like, why is he in the hospital? I don't know if you felt that way too. And now we see it. And remember, he just said to Kangtae, all my wishes came true. I don't think he meant that in the way that we would think, but I think he meant I finally got to share what I wanted to. But again, he didn't mean to disgrace his father. That's what I believe. And I think we're going to see this here. Speculating.
이제 살 것 같아?
엄마, 나 그냥
왜 하필 내 뱃속에서 모자라게 태어나서 그 구박을 받아? 왜 무난심만 골라서 해? 내 간장을 녹여. 그냥 죽은 척 가만히 나 있지. 왜 죽자고 달려들어? 이 사단을 내! 이 대신아! 왜!
What would you do if your mom said that to you? This is where I wish in our culture, in American culture, we might speak out in his defense, right? That, and I'm not saying that they should have done that. The two workers right now, Kangtae, the main character, and the girl, I do think they empathize with them. But I feel like it would be great to see more of our culture and our society in Korea specifically, not just be watching, right? It's actually in racism, it's called bystander, being a bystander, right? And really understanding, hey, don't say that, or coming in to some sort of defense. I don't know what that would look like, I'm being honest with you, but I wanted to see something there. Okay, so parents, I don't know if you've ever said to your kid, why are you stupid? How could you do that? Even I'm guilty of not saying stupid, but saying things like, okay, why couldn't you get this? Why can't you do this, right? We don't know our words. Watching that, I think I watched it with the best face I could, but it's like a bitter taste in my mouth, because that's terrible to say to your kids. But I'm pretty sure we've heard that from our parents too, right? So parents, if you know that you've said that, I need you to watch your words. And I'm not saying you're gonna have your kid end up in a mental institution, but I'm just saying, I don't believe this patient technically belongs there, right? And that's why he stood out to me, because he seemed to be normal, quote unquote. Sorry to use that word, but he didn't seem to belong in that hospital with everyone else.
맨날 형이랑 누나들만 챙긴다고 나 같은 신경도 안 쓰잖아. 근데 맞아보니까 느낌 빡 오네. 형, 우리 엄마 나 안 미워해. 나 겁나 사랑해. 어떻게 알아요? 맞는 쪽은 알아. 애정이 담기면 이게 맞아도 기분이 안 나빠, 이상해.
I think I'll end there, but I'm honestly not sure. So in our culture, obviously American culture, we don't necessarily condone the hitting, but there is difference in discipline, right? So I'm actually going to bring that out. He said something very interesting that I'm kind of like, what? He says his mom hates him. Then he goes, wait a second, no. But when I saw the way she hit me, I believe she loves me. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to believe him. Meaning, yes, I believe every mom does love their child, and they show it differently. In our culture, there's a conflict, right, in how you show it. But the fact that he felt it at that moment, that's good, right? I mean, that's what you want a child, no matter what age, to feel that they're loved by their parents. So this was a great scene. I mean, watching this, I'm like, I want to say it's a little bit conflicting with emotions, because there's so many things in there that I don't agree with. But I also am empathetic to our culture and know that that's just the society. But I hope we can change that, especially especially pointing out shame and why aren't you doing that and why aren't you doing this? And that's what a lot of the younger generations struggle with today. Thanks for watching and reacting with me to K-drama scenes from a mental health perspective. Don't forget to subscribe to Noona's Noonchi, where weekly episodes come out Wednesdays and Fridays, and we're also going to be doing more of these reaction episodes. So please don't forget to comment on what scenes you'd like me to react to.